Hello, I am Mehmed, your host. Welcome back to the Hyperkinetic Dawn of War Double Elimination Seeded Random Race Tournament qualifying matches. We are in round 2, getting ready to jump into game 5, looking at MadMilliner's second qualifying round. Let's jump in. Alright, looks like he has pulled the Dark Eldar, and he is up against the Sisters of Battle. Alright, so he is, like the Cabal of the All-Seeing Eye, up against, looks like, the Ardent Flame again. We just saw them in the last game, actually. Same map position for them as well. So we'll see if MadMilliner fares a little bit better than Death by Snails did in that last round. So we got a Slave Chamber going down. Interesting first choice. Kind of going for the Pop Cat first. Getting a bunch of Mandrakes built. Very interesting choice to get that many built this early on. We'd usually see 2 or 3, but 5 is going to be an interesting call. Let's see. Computers, of course, getting their convent and a generator down, as well as sending out some missionaries to grab points. So we see that the slave chamber up. We'll see if there's an intention to upgrade that to a particular thing or not. Okay, the Mandrakes are out and are reinforcing heavily. So that's an interesting choice. It's going to keep his requisition pretty low, actually, to have be building that many Mandrakes and reinforcing that heavily that quickly. It would not be unusual to reinforce that heavily if you went with 2 squads, but building this many squads and reinforcing that heavily is going to keep you bottomed out pretty heavily on your resources, unless you get a lot of points pretty quickly. Which with that many Mandrake squads you theoretically can, but you have to be pretty good at the expansion thread of the game and making sure to micro your point grabbing. That said, we do have a Battle Sister squad already coming around the corner of the map, possibly going for a point, but more likely coming over for the harass. So we do see squad moving out to grab that relic point, having already grabbed that strategic point there. Oh, he actually abandoned that point a moment before it finished there. Okay, he did realize that and stopped to grab it again. So paying pretty close attention to the micro there to have pulled them away that quickly, but we'll see. Okay, so finishes there. He does have the Battle squads coming in. The Mandrakes will be able to get into close combat there and cause some pretty good damage. Mandrakes are good meleeers in terms of their damage, but they're a little bit weak on their health. Comparatively, this may be a bit of a close fight, especially actually with those additional squad of Battle Sisters coming in. Those Mandrakes don't really stand any chance here. They're going to get torn apart. Yeah, the other Mandrakes need to come around and help out here. We'll see if they do. We really need to see a Hall of Blood going down to see the Mandrake infiltration. That would really give MadMilliner a pretty big advantage here with the number of Mandrakes that he's built. He's going to be able to cause some serious damage to the Battle Sisters, as long as he can kill off the missionaries, because the missionaries, of course, have infiltration detection. So we don't see any other buildings going down yet. Don't see any listening posts being built either. That's a bit strange. He does seem to have his tortured slaves in place as if he's getting ready to build them, but hasn't actually started them yet. He's got the requisition for it, but it's possible he just got distracted with the microing of his units there. He is up to 44 requisition to tick, but his opponent is up to 68. Again, building those listening posts is critical. It increases the amount of requisition that you get out of a given point. So you're going to want to build those so that you don't fall behind in the race. Even if you control the majority of the map, you're still going to fall behind if you're not building those listening posts. We do see another Tortured Slave Beans built, as well as another Mandrake squad. Really going heavy on the Mandrakes here. Again, this would make more sense if there's a Hall of Blood down to get that infiltration research. He is getting a lot of points around the map. General Resource War is going not terribly at the moment. Again, if he were to get some listening posts built, he'd be the clear victor in the resource race at the moment. He does have one going down there, and looks like a Tortured Slave going out to build that point. So definitely good there, but needs more points. Again, one of the big advantages of the Dark Eldar is that their Tortured Slaves start buildings. They don't have to stay around to finish them. For those of you who are familiar with the StarCraft series, it's very Protoss-like. You can simply start a building and then move on to another one. So you really don't need all that many Tortured Slaves. MadMilliner's built probably more than he needs here. So meanwhile, we do see another It's possible skirmish starting here. We do see the cannon S out. That's going to be a big problem for those mandrakes. The mandrakes can cause a lot of damage, but not enough to stop the cannon S. The cannon S is going to be able to just whittle through them with an insane speed. Her melee damage is decent. It is not the best out of the heroes, but it is pretty good. And yeah, she is going to be able to whittle through those mandrakes pretty quickly.
No mercy.
Especially her able to provide some support here. So in this case, we are seeing just the sheer number of mandrakes prove to be useful by engaging those battle squads, forcing them to either fall back or engage in melee combat, which they do not want to do. MadMilliner's actually got this cannon surrounded and is actually probably going to kill her. This is really impressive. Oh, that is really unfortunate. Is he going to kill her? Yes, he has successfully killed her. That is a big win for him at this point in the game. His opponent is actually behind on total resources, ahead on resource gain, but is spending enough that they're down on total resources. They're getting the Precinct Sanctuary up, but MadMilliner forcing them to rebuild their cannon S is going to be a big boon to him on the resource race here. That said, he really needs to get that Hall of Blood built and that Infiltration Research down. Although he's going for the Dark Foundry. Interesting. If he can get some Hellions out, that could be a pretty good raiding support, but he's reaching a dangerous point at the moment. The Battle Sister squads are getting several squads built up, and they can, very similar to the Chaos Space Marines, they can turn into an absolute ball of death when they get enough of them. And this is not even with their upgrades yet. When they start getting their upgrades and start using their faith abilities, this number of Battle Sisters is going to be absolutely devastating. As you can see there, they've just steadily whittled their way through all those mandrakes. Just the sheer amount of firepower they've got is devastating at the moment. MadMilliner is going to be in serious trouble here. Even if he can start getting some mandrakes or some jet bikes out, this is going to be a bit of a problem. Really, the jet bikes is probably the right call to go. A couple of jet bikes would be able to tear apart these Battle Sister squads, especially if you can catch them split up like this. That said, they're probably going to merge back together here on their way to his base, but we will see how he does. Okay, we do see the Hall of Blood going down. That's going to allow him to, again, get that Infiltration Research, as well as get some Warrior squads out, perhaps. Let's see, we don't see any vehicles being built yet, even though that Dark Foundry is down. Okay, there we go. So we do see the Hellion squad coming out. So those Hellions are going to allow him to do some kind of targeted strikes. That said, there's a lot of firepower coming down with those Battle Sister squads at the moment. And yeah, those mandrakes are just going to get shredded with all that. We'll have to see how the Hellions do. The Hellions may be able to cause some good chaos there. Let's see, we see another plasma generator going down, getting his energy resource up will allow him to crank out more stuff out of that Dark Foundry. Meanwhile, his Hall of Blood is done. We don't see anything being researched there yet. Again, if he's going to be building more mandrakes, he needs to get that infiltration done, but he may have decided to move on from them at this point. So he may be going just for some warriors to be back to provide some fire support with the Hellions. So here, hopefully we'll get to see how good the Hellions are against infantry. That is, again, a death ball of Sisters of Battle, and the number of them that are going to be able to keep firing at these Hellions is going to make this really challenging for these Hellions. The Hellions are good against infantry in general, but the problem is they really need to get set into them, and having... Looks like we've got 4 full squads that are able to sit back and fire at the moment, and that is just really hard to fight back against. So again, the jet bikes may have been a better call in this situation. The jet bikes, being a heavier vehicle, have better armor and would be able to better resist the firepower that those Battle Sister squads have. So we don't see any taken hold or control area going down yet. Possibly could see that momentarily here. Yeah, likely will.
Victory countdown.
Yes, so the taken hold victory has been triggered for the Ardent Flame, but we may not get a chance to see that. With this, again, this large of a squad coming in, they may be able to push in and actually wipe out MadMilliner's production buildings. We do see another slave champion going down to increase his pop cap. He really doesn't need that at the moment. He's got enough pop cap for the forces that he's got, but he may be going for the add-ons. It's unlikely, but okay. So we do see the Archon out now. So the Archon could actually really help to push back these forces. The Archon is going to be strong enough in combat to push back those Battle Sister squads. Some support for the Archon would be nice. It's going to be a bit of a close call for the Archon to actually push them back, but certainly capable of it. But would not be a bad call to get maybe a squad of warriors out, or get another squad of Hellions out or something to help disturb them while the Archon gets into battle. Certainly building some of the incubuses to help whittle through the Battlestar squads would be ideal. We'll see how he fares here.
Strike them down.
So we do see the Pristine Sanctuary is down, so the Battlestar squads can have their veteran superiors as well as their phosphor grenades researched at this point. So that Archon is taking some heavy damage here, but is steadily causing damage as well. We'll have to see if additional squads come in. Okay, so we do see more Mandrakes coming in. So those Mandrakes are going to get stuck into some squads and help reduce the amount of firepower that's being brought against that Archon. That will allow the Archon to push back and finish off these Battlestar squads unless they fall back. Which looks like they are being pulled back. The computers generally decided that they don't like the
5 minutes
look of that.
until take and
So
hold
they're pulled back.
victory.
Still, we do have only 5 minutes remaining for the take and hold victory. MadMilliner is going to need to mount an offensive if he's going to take back one of those critical points. He does have some warriors coming out, and again, those warriors with the support of the Archon and the Mandrakes will be able to provide some pretty good firepower. Looks like the Battlestar squads ended up getting stuck in here and are going to get completely wiped out. That is a huge win for MadMilliner. The amount of military points that he used won by taking out that many Battlestar squads is going to be significant. That said, again, the computer does continue building. They've secured all of the points in the middle of the map. The resource war at the moment is heavily in their favor. They've got over 3,000 requisition in the bank to just continue cranking out units. They've got 224 per minute of requisition coming in versus only 50 for MadMilliner. MadMiller's not looking very strong at the moment. Has not upgraded his LP to an LP2. Again, this is just not looking good at all. He needs to have moved his units forward, try to grab one of these critical points and take one of those out. Maybe start working on getting some of these other... Sorry about that, had a little bit of a glitch in the game there, but it's freed up now. So let's see, we do see MadMilliner's warrior squads out here engaging with the Celestian squad. That is not a good squad for a warrior squad to engage. The Celestians are a tougher group. They've got much better armor, similar firepower to start with, but they can be upgraded with much heavier weapons. In general, they're going to easily outmatch those warriors. Meanwhile, Mandrake's getting stuck into this other Celestian squad. Again, Celestian squads are very dangerous to fight against. They're going to cause some pretty heavy damage. They've got the chain swords instead of just the standard blades. Meanwhile, we're down to only 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the take and hold victory. It is looking pretty bleak for MadMilliner at the moment. He has lost, like I said, his Archon is still up and running, but taking a lot of heavy damage. Fighting against those Celestians is going to cause a lot of additional damage. Probably going to wipe them out, but going to cost him enough hit points that he may not have enough to take on the remaining forces here. Again, Celestian squad down, but is not going to be able to take on the rest. Needs to fall back, very low on health at this point, but nope, the Archon has fallen. That is a bad blow to MadMilliner. That said, he does have a mostly reinforced Hellion squad out, and that is going to just tear into these Celestian squads. The Celestians will be able to fight back fairly well, being a heavy infantry, but the Hellions are best against infantry units, so they are going to really tear into those Celestian squads, pull them apart, and then the Battlestar squad back there is going to quickly get destroyed as well. So this is actually a pretty good unit composition for MadMilliner. That is unfortunate, actually pulling away from that fight momentarily, allowing those Battlestation squads to get a few more shots in. Really should have stuck in and finished them off. Looks like he is doing that now. He's got another Battlestation squad to deal with there. Another Celestian squad moving in to fight. The Celestian squad, the easiest way to notice them, they do have their halo and their emblem on their back. Otherwise, they're pretty similar to the Battlestation squads, but cannot be stressed enough, are a much, much stronger unit. Their health is significantly higher, and their weapon damage is much scarier. So this is a situation that is kind of a trade for trade at the moment, but is going to go in the favor of the Battle Sisters because they are being reinforced. See, there are some reinforcements coming for the Dark Eldar here for MadMilliner, but they're going to get here a little bit too late and not quite enough. He needs to pull back those Hellion squatters, going to lose it, which again, much cheaper to reinforce than it is to rebuild. So if you can escape with the squad, you should. Let's see, the Archon's coming in with one of his HKI build, as well as some of his upgrades done, looks like. But coming in too little too late. The countdown is going to finish here. This is going to be a take-and-hold victory for the Ardent Flame of the Sisters of Battle. Congratulations to MadMilliner on a second showing, though. Not a bad showing. Caused a decent amount of damage. Built a fair amount of buildings. Got some good kills in there, so probably scored reasonably well. Congratulations to MadMilliner for finishing up his qualifiers. Again, this is Game 5 of Round 2, having finished. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next game.